Hello farmers and welcome back to Pichonniere Valley on Farming Simulator 25. It is June and we got some stuff to harvest, which is a good thing because I just logged in a second ago checking on some things and our chickens are out of food. That's a problem. Not really, I mean, we got food around, we got some food in the silo, but since we got 2 fields of winter barley ready to harvest, we're going to harvest that and then feed that to the chickens right away and then get on to some other stuff. Hello, John, Miles, Bob, and NRMRM. I'm just going to call you NR, I suppose. Welcome. Hope you guys are having a good Monday so far. Yeah, so we're going to get right to harvesting so I can feed the chickens. So let's go ahead and grab our Lexian Combine here. And hopefully I can get this out of this shed with no problem. Because it is kind of a little bit of a tight squeeze. And then, yeah, we'll scooch through here. Alright, we are good to go. I already got the Kubota over here with the grain trailer, but I want to get the Fent and the baler set up. Because as we're harvesting, we're going to be getting some straws, so might as well go ahead and get a worker behind us, baling up the straw bales. Also, we do need to make some TMR for the cows. The cows got food, but the mixer does not. So we got to get that set up. Let's see here. Didn't really park the trailer in the best of spots, but we can move things around. Then, yeah, we got to buy a couple things in the store today. Maybe not this month, but, yeah, we want to plow in between the grapevines. And also, we're going to buy the hand harvester for the grapes. I did drop that off, right? And let's see, let's fold, unfold the combine. Why is the header not folding up? There it goes. My side panel's acting up today again. There we go. That's what happens when we don't use it for a few days. Someone put a telephone pole there. Let me get this into the field at least. Oh, and I probably got to turn on... Are you chopping or are you dropping? You're chopping. We want you to be dropping. Alright, let's grab the... Oh, I already bought the subsoiler and the harvester. Alright, so we already purchased those. I knew that. Alright, spin around here, and the baler should be just right around the corner in this second shed. Alright, put down the pickup. Turn on automatic drop. And then that is turned on. Hire a worker to follow the class Lexian. And we should be good to go. Worker, are you coming along? Yeah, worker's coming along. Just took a second. All right, we are harvesting. So, with already the plow and the harvester bought for the grapes, I think now we are just Let's see, have we got everything here? I know we got the harvester for the sugar beet. So I think we're down to now saving up money to buy the BGA. Send you the side panel, not using at the moment. It's not, I don't think it's really my side panel causing the issue, because if I turn it off and restart it on my USB hub, it works fine. So I think it's just a matter of I got so many USB plugs put in. Could be a compatibility issue somewhere. Although I have had this side panel now for about 7 or 8 years, and of course got a lot of hours on it. So hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Summer is officially here. Well, if you live in the northern hemisphere. Hello, Panther. Welcome. Can't believe I let the chickens run out of feed. Luckily, we're not in desperate need of financial help via the chickens, and we got plenty of eggs. I did turn on the automatic drop for the baler. I think I did. You can get Thrustmaster PS5 joystick to work on your console so it sits on the cupboard. Yeah, it's got to be kind of frustrating to have something that you used to use and doesn't connect to your new consoles or whatever. Hello, Sue. Welcome. Hope you had a nice weekend. Amazing all the different kinds of machines you have and knowledge and how to use them. Well, I mean, I've been playing Farming Simulator for probably too long, so it's like anything. It seems complicated maybe if you're new to the genre of farming or the game itself, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that big of a thing. I can only imagine what it's like to jump into Farming Simulator 25 without really ever having played it before. Because when I started in FS13, there wasn't as much, of course, in the game as there is now, so it's a lot more to learn. Alright, we're going to call that good. Let's get out and grab the trailer and unload. Don't really necessarily have to go across where the path is, but we shall. It's nice having this combine and the header. Gets our fields done rather quickly. Yeah, the Virgo pack, but can't find the boar feeding station. Well, it's not really for the boars. It's really for feeding the deer, but I know what you're talking about. So, of course, you got to go into construction. And there you go. So you got to go into construction, go on down to the animals, and then go to others. And there's the feeding station for the Vredo pack. You got a small one and a large one. So there are your feeders. It's in where the doghouse is. It's under others. You had a rainy weekend. Rained on and off here as well with some thunderstorms. So used to be like that with SnowRunner. Now it's second nature. For the amount of SnowRunner I've played recently, I'm starting to get used to. Well, I shouldn't say get used to, but knowing my vehicles and what they're capable of kind of doing. Hello, William. Yep, Farmers Dynasty released an update with a sawmill. And honestly, I don't have much desire to jump on Farmers Dynasty 2 to have a go look. Because I feel like it's just going to be the same as it was in Lumberjacks Dynasty. I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. Workers doing a fabulous job of getting the baling done so we don't have to do it later on. So yeah, so far as I can tell here in Pichonniere Valley from the way I'm kind of set up now, I don't think, I think we just gotta save up to buy the BGA. Is all we're really doing. Well, other than continue farming, but as for purchasing stuff for the farm, I think we're pretty much set. They are missing the corner bits, but not too concerned about it. It's straw after all. Oh yeah, I should mention, if you were here for Saturday's stream of SnowRunner, yeah, I ended the stream and I had 3 more jobs to do, but after 8 hours of SnowRunner, I couldn't muster up to play for. As I found out, it took me another hour to finish up those 3 jobs, but I have completed season 17 of SnowRunner, and then I logged on a little bit yesterday to get all my vehicles back to the garage and retained, so we are ready for season 18 of SnowRunner on Thursday. It should be. do need to check the sale page to see if there's anything I need to be selling in June, but I don't think there is. Alright, should be done with this field here in just a matter of a couple minutes. See if I can get that baler to get this straw over here as I circle around. Again, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it's straw. Hello, Jay. Welcome. The other field is barley as well. Let's go ahead and grab the Kubota. So yeah, we need 900 grand for the BGA. While that's unloading. So yeah, the conditions of the chickens is, well, they're bad. They ran out of food a while ago, apparently. I want to check the stock market page, and yeah, nothing looking great for selling wise. So we can kind of focus on the harvesting of our crops for the month of June. Also, just a friendly reminder, did release an episode of American Truck Simulator yesterday. Took a short trip, but got an episode out. And apparently in patch 1.6 of American Truck Simulator, there's two options now for the sleep mode and fatigue. So at the end of yesterday's episode, I saw something pop up, didn't know what it was, but yeah, I guess I got to go to my options and turn off the other option for sleep or fatigue or something. And just like that, our first field for harvesting is just about done. Sue, the animals do not die in Farming Simulator. They just don't produce nothing. So you don't have to worry about your farm animals dying if you don't feed them for years on end. They just don't produce. Chickens won't produce eggs. Cows won't produce milk. Sheep won't produce wool. And the reason behind that is because the game rating, if the animals were to die, they can't have the game rating as E for everyone. No, Bob, they never have. Unless you're using a mod, which I used the mod in 22 and 19 myself. But in the base game itself, the animals never could die. So just like that, this field is harvested and baled. Alright, we'll have to dismiss the worker. Alright, first thing we'll do is we will grab the trailer of barley and we'll go feed the chickens and then dump the rest into our silo. And then we'll get all that stuff brought over to the next barley field. Nothing on the baling trailer, so I could either go pick up the straw now and store it somewhere, or wait until next month when we cut the grass and make silage bales and pick it up and leave it on there. I guess all depends on what I'm going to replant in these fields. Alright, chickens, here you go. I apologize for letting you guys run out of food. Not really sure how that happened. Been here 12 years, and that's the first time that's happened. But no one to blame but the farm operator / owner, and that's me. Okay, how come trigger must be a little bit further? There we go. Alright, let's go get this set up for the next field. And no AI traffic comes down this road, so we can just park this over here for the time being. But yeah, I'm also going to bring the combine over here. So yeah, let me go ahead and park this right here. And then, yep, we'll grab you. Alright, just get this facing like this. Unfold the header. So we got the winery put down right there. We also got the sugar mill, and that is over here. Yeah, we should be all set for the sugar beet harvest, the wine harvest, or the grape harvest. Should have everything we need, but that's not going to be in today's stream, I don't think, because that's not going to happen until September/October. And I don't think we're going to get that far. Try not to go into my neighbor's field too much. Not that anything happens of it. Although there are mods out there that will destroy your neighbor's fields if you were to drive into them and you have to pay the fine. I used to use that mod back in 17 and 19. I think it goes back as far as 17. Alright, so now I need the Fent. I do hope the next update for Farming Simulator, which is going to be very soon. That's all I can say. But there'll be an update coming very soon for Farming Simulator that fixes this issue of the vehicles sinking into the ground a bit. If I were to slow up, does that tire come out of the ground, or is it still in the ground? There we go. It popped out of the ground, I think. There we go. Now we're getting back up to top speed. And I think I'm back into the ground again. You can kind of see how the tractor is leaning to the left, going down the road. Wonder if it has something to do with the tires. Alright, baler is on. You follow the class Lexian like before. And once they get about 25 meters out front, it should start to follow us, and there they go. Get the headland done. This is kind of a odd shaped field, so got a few corners to get around. Saw a video of a stuck tractor in the mud and wet conditions. That they're probably using the mud. I think it's just called the mud mod. But the problem that we were talking about basically just a second ago, since the last update to Farming Simulator, a lot of people are complaining about the tires kind of sinking into the surface of the ground, slowing down equipment. Yeah, there is a mud mod on the mod hub. Came out quite a while ago. So yeah, if it rains, obviously the soil in the field gets very soft and tractors will sink and get stuck. A little bit like SnowRunner. Not sure if I'll get back around to where we're going to have a nice little spot to empty out the combine, but we'll see how far we get. But hopefully the update tomorrow will fix that. Am I hitting a bush? Yes, I was. Hitting another little tiny bush. Well, I might be able to get back out to the road. It's not that far. Hopefully we can, because that'll help me unload rather easily, but we're filling up rather fast. Oh, I thought it was 10,700, or is this 11,000 on this grain tank? It is 11,000 on this grain tank. I don't know why I got 10,700 in my head. If you have the Mason header, do you need the normal header? I'm not sure what you mean by Mason header. Unless that was an autocorrect and you're trying to type in MacDon. Well, no, this header here is a MacDon header. Says it right on it, MacDon header. But just remember, you gotta be careful what MacDon header you purchase. If you're always wondering, just double check in the store. The store will tell you what that header is capable of doing. The only problem with having this worker behind me, I can't really back up with the combine because that worker gets kind of confused. Why would you need to buy a normal header? I don't... A header is a header. It's just a different brand is all. I mean, this header's not going to do corn or sunflowers or vegetables or... I mean, this header's going to do what the normal headers do. Got the F-140 machine too. What's the... I don't know the names of them. What's the F-140 machine? Wait, if I go to here... MacDon, what's the F-140? I mean, you got, if you're talking about the 140 header, so all the straw will probably just end up selling. Well, just keep in mind that that MacDon machine, that is not a combine harvester. That's more of a swathing machine. That's just going to put the crop in a swath. That's not going to have the capability of harvesting like this combine does. I think I'll just go down here and look at this strip. Yeah, so that MacDon machine, this one here, like if you go to combinations, so basically you're just going to get a header like this. It's kind of hard to see, but when you harvest the crop, it's kind of like a swath mower. It's going to harvest the crop, and then it'll put the crop into a swath behind the machine. This this machine here, as you can see, doesn't have a tank for the grain, so it just puts the crop into a swath. So then you would have to go around with a like a forage harvester to pick up the swath of crop and put it into a trailer. But by using that, you get a 10% bonus on yield. I think it's 10%. Forgot what it was. We have not done that on this channel since Riverbend Springs, but I think it's a 10% increase in yield. $25% extra? Okay, it's higher than I thought it was. Again, I haven't used that since Riverbend Spring. That's been for me, what, about over a year, of course. Let's get into the Fent. Should be able to get this whole field into the trailer with ease. Just like that, the barley harvest will be done with. I think we have one winter wheat field and then 2 canola fields. Use the MacDon with header, then the PWA on the combine to mow the swath and separate the corn from the chaff. Corn is a crop that I don't do a whole lot of in Farming Simulator, which is kind of odd because where I live, corn is mostly what you see growing around me. Mainly for making chaff for the cows. Mostly we got cow farms where we live. Also have to see if any of my fields will need some soil sampling before we get any more work done in them. Of course, we'll try to get some not artificial, but natural fertilizer down with either slurry or cow manure. And we're here, so we'll get this little piece right here. Probably about 4 liters worth. Alright, not even 4 liters worth, that was a liter. Let's go ahead and dismiss Francesca. She is done. That's done unloading, so we can go ahead and take this to the silo. Probably just leave the combine right in this field. And we got a little bit of barley here, but that's okay. As we just saw, I only got about 4 liters from that other little patch, so that's maybe 8 liters. Eggs. I do need to move some eggs around. We got any room in the mayonnaise production? They could take 4 pallets. All right, leave that there. Let's now grab, well, not grab, but we'll at least get this set up for transportation. And let's see, this field does not need soil sampling because the bottom right-hand corners show me the values of nitrogen and the pH values. So soil sampling is still good in this field at least. All right, we're going to grab our dolly trailer and head up to the store. So we can grab the plow for the vineyard and then the harvester, instead of pushing that back manually, the harvester for the grapes will throw in the back of the trailer and bring it back to the farm that way. Then we can plow between the vines. Hopefully the John Deere 710 can manage that. Because I don't think the Fendt or maybe the John Deere 3650 that might fit between the vines. I don't want to have to buy a tractor for just plowing between the vines. I do have a 3-point link on the front of this. Yes, I do. Couldn't remember if I just had a 3-point link or if I put weights on the front of the fence. So yeah, the plow can go on the front. That's what I mentioned, Bob, the 710 for plowing, if it can. If it can't, then I'm not sure the 3650 will fit between the vines. I think it will. Saw an NPC farmer mowing that grass field. Looks like they were using a JCB. Yep, that will go on the front. And, yep, we'll have to use super strength to lift this up. But I'm not pushing that all the way back to the farm by hand. Hello, Lego Builder. I hope you're having a nice Monday so far. Appreciate you stopping on in. Watching us do a little farming today. Going past our dairy production on the right. Nope, I am not on multiplayer. See our straw bales in our field that we just harvested a little while ago. I think the John Deere 710 can manage this plow, if I remember correctly. Looking at the horsepower requirement for it. May not perform well, but I think it can manage. I'm just going to drop off the plow. Whoops. Right there. And I'm going to put the dolly trailer over here because we're not making any wine for a little bit. Let's go ahead and unstrap that. Alright, can I just grab the harvester? There we go. Alright, don't want to carry it all the way over. Turn off super strength, and now we'll push it. Oh yeah, I gotta start the, it's gotta start the invisible engine, which is me. And we'll push this on over, and we'll put it next to the other handheld harvester that we have. Alright. We're going to have to put in like a little bit of a shed over here or something for that. Alright, let's see if the 710 can manage this. If not, we'll grab the 3650. There is actually in the sale page, or there was, not that I want to get it. Is it still in the sale page? Actually, yeah, it's still the Landini. Well, it can manage. I don't think 3 miles an hour is the working speed. It's up to 5 miles an hour. That might be the working speed. Now, usually I do, when I do vine work like this, oh, the one thing I still need to buy is the pruner for after harvesting. But usually when I plow, what I usually do is I put the mulcher on the front and the plow on the back. Let me have a look to see what is the working speed of this subsoiler / plow for the grapes. Grape tools, 7 miles an hour. Requires 65 horsepower. I have no idea how much horsepower this John Deere 710 is. 50. So yeah, we don't quite have, it's not quite up to the task for this. Getting some wheel slippage as well. Alright, I think the 3650 will fit between the rows. Also, I do want to see how much this is affecting our yield. Because my question is it worth it? I mean, we already got the plow anyways. The plow wasn't too expensive. Was not expecting wheel slippage. Just get me to the end of the row. Now let's go ahead and drop that off. Alright, so what I want to see, because we plowed here. So expected yield is 89% out of 89%. So if we come over here where it hasn't been plowed, 84% out of 89%. So it's like a 5% yield. So that's, yeah, it's good enough where it's going to help us out. But yeah, the 710 just doesn't quite have. It's lacking on the horsepower a little bit, but also the traction looks like is what was really killing us. I'm guessing the 3650, yeah, it's down over here. Let's go ahead and drop off the front end loader, because I don't want that catching on the vines. And also the weight. Let's drop that off here. I need to make a TMR for the cows, so do that after the grapevines. No, we did not level out the vineyard area before putting them down. It's flat enough. It's not too extreme over here. Yeah, looks like this will fit through the vines. Not by a whole lot, but it should fit. Yep, just barely sneaks through. And yeah, not a problem getting up to the 7 mile an hour working speed. Do I have a 3-point link on this or weights in the front? Got a 3-point link on the front. Just looking at that because I might buy 2 pruners. One for the back, one for the front. And that will help us get 2 vines done on each pass. And they're not that expensive. Yeah, we might need a shed over here for the 2 handheld harvesters, the plow. Just a shed for these type of pieces of equipment. Although I don't really have space over here. I mean, I could put it where the bale trailer is right in front of us in the yard. I mean, I got a lot of shed space over there, but it's not... I don't want to be pushing the hand harvesters too far. Just trying to keep my eye on what row I've been in. The only thing that's kind of helping me out is when I get to the end of the row, I'm destroying the grass, so it's kind of helping me out. But as of right now, this is the second to last season, I think, on Pichonniere Valley. Year number 13 will probably be our last. Because by the time we get to the end of year 13, I'll have over 150 hours on this map. Not that I'm tired of the map or anything, but... and like I said, the only thing I got left to spend money on are some pruners for the grapevines. And just buying the BGA because why not? Although now that I think about it, mulching between the vines, I don't think it said anything about mulching. I know it said it needed to be plowed, but it didn't say it needed to be mulched. I think the mulching is basically on the vine itself. I don't think I need to take care of the grass between the grapevines. Let me just double check on that. So if we come over to here, yeah, it just says needs plowing. And of course now over here it shouldn't say that, which it doesn't. I don't know, I'm starting to feel like at best, when it gets down to it and we start making some wine, I'm hoping we just get at least a couple pallets out of it. Again, I don't think we're going to make a profit on the wine while we are here. Meaning for the amount of money it cost me to put down the winery, the sugar mill, the vines, the sugar beet planting. If you look at all the money I spent to get this operation up and going, I don't think we're going to get our money back in the short time we're going to be here. Maybe in the long run, but I don't know. I might be surprised. We'll see how it goes. But a few more passes here. We're going to make some TMR for the cows. The cows are not out of food, not like the chickens were. But yeah, after we make the TMR, I think I'm pretty much done in the month of June. Alright, 2 more passes, and we are done plowing up between the grapes. Not like we can really see a difference, but I'm surprised it's not tearing up the grass or the weeds or whatever it is in between the vines. I'm also kind of guessing that I probably could have done with a smaller sugar beet field, and I could have expanded the grapevines more that way. But again, if we end up with excess sugar, we can always just sell that. So for now, I will put this plow over in the farmyard in a shed. I can probably find, it's not something I usually get, but I bet you there's got to be like very small sheds in the store that I could probably stick one down in that corner over there. And that'd be good enough just for the handheld tools. Alright, let's go make some TMR. Oh yeah, I also gotta move some eggs. Now that the chickens are producing once again. We don't have much of a spawn area left for some eggs. Alright, there we go. And let's see, we need... Whoop. So I need 2 bales of hay as I try to... Oh, the end cab is going to help me out in here. Actually, it's not too bad, end cab. I can kind of see... a little bit, but let's bring down the Mercedes with the mixer. So 2 straw, sorry, 2 silage, 2 hay, 1 straw is the mixture we need. Do a little first person, which could be kind of dangerous. Why did I put this hay bale over here on its own? It's a full hay bale too. And now to silage. I'm going to grab this one right there. And then hopefully just grab this one on top. Okay, and then 1 straw to pad it out. Actually, let's grab the one on top. While I'm here, I wonder, I didn't check to see how they're doing on bedding. Let's see if the cows could use a bale or 2. Straw. 1 bale is all I need. They're half full. So 1 more bale. We'll give them a full amount of bedding. Again, the straw in a cow barn, you don't really need it unless you want to get solid manure. And since we got plenty of straw bales, we want the solid manure because we're going to have the BGA where I can bring the manure there and convert that over to methane, electricity, and digestate. And plus we have been using some of the solid manure for making, or sorry, for fertilizing our fields. I need that John Deere for the eggs. Got to move the eggs. So if I activate it and turn off the tractor, it should automatically feed the cows when they run out. I'm surprised they actually have that feature in the game, because that is kind of something new to 25. I don't remember that being a thing in the previous versions. Alright, so we're going to grab 4 pallets of eggs and put that into the mayonnaise production. And if someone didn't park the Kubota there, it'd be a little bit easier, but we got just enough room. Oh, come on, get off my forks. All right, now that should be all the work done for the month. July would be a busy month. We got the grass fields to cut. And probably some canola to harvest. Yeah, we should be all set. Sale page. Not, I mean, the only thing I'm really looking for, I guess, since it doesn't really matter, are the pruners. There's nothing else we really need. And the pruners are rather cheap to begin with, so it's not going to save a whole bunch of cash. Oh, yeah, a shed, though. Let me just have a look at some sheds. Smaller ones are going to be down the list here. Like, this is only 10,000. Although that is bigger than what we need, honestly. Yeah, small sheds are something I don't usually look at on the mod hub. So, most of the sheds we're seeing here are rather large. Well, they just look rather large for what we're trying to do here. It's an interesting looking little shed. It's only a couple thousand. I think we'll just pop one of those down because I just want to put it undercover. Make it look like it actually has a place to stay. Alright, let me go ahead and... First off, we're going to flatten it out in here. So it doesn't look too ridiculous. Well, it's not getting rid of the vegetation. If I were to put concrete down, does that get rid of that vegetation? It does. The trees, if the trees are in the way, we will use our chainsaw. I think I have a chainsaw, and we'll just delete them. Actually, let's grab the chainsaw now. We'll just go ahead and... Oh, I need to activate that. Let's get rid of these trees completely. Really don't want to get rid of too many trees in the area. There, that'll work. Hello, Anita. Welcome. Hope your weekend went well. Back to sheds. Scroll all the way down to here. Where was it? I went past it. This one's a little bit more of a grayish color. Overlaps with what object? I don't know, but we'll just hit that button there, and that will toss it in. There we go. That looks well enough. Let me turn off super strength. We don't want that no more. All right, now we're just going to go ahead and grab that. Oh yeah, start the engine. It was looking a little bit bigger in the front here, but I think these will fit in here just fine. Oops, make sure I turn off the engine. Sounds kind of weird, but... kind of blocking the door, but I don't think we can go in that door anyways. Yeah, that's not a door we can open. Alright, so we got our hand harvesting tools under a roof. Not that it really mattered, but... And that little building there kind of fits. Meaning it looks like it belongs there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm good with that. Whoops, yeah. My house is over here now. Well, I'll tell you what, it's 80 degrees out. It's June. Take a little dip in the pool midday. Get some laps in. And then you wear your wet clothes to bed. Yeah, I'm not going to bother checking the sale page. Let's just go to bed and get up in in July. Should have some canola fields ready for harvest. And a wheat field. So all the fields other than the sugar beet and the grapes should be ready. Weather, it's a little cloudy this morning. We'll check the sale page just to see what's there. Yeah, look at that. I put down the grapevines and look at that. They tried. We already bought the sprayer, and then the next month the sprayer was on sale, and now this machine right here, which would have worked as well. What the heck is this thing? Oh, that transports pallets. Never used that before. But yeah, let's go ahead and see. Do we have anything for harvest, which I'm sure we do? Yep, 94, 16 are ready. The grass fields, of course, 36 is ready. So yeah, all of our fields are ready. I do want to see, so we got winter wheat here, and we got canola and canola. Well, I want to do the canola first because I want to start making the oil so we can start making the mayonnaise. So we got that. Let me check the stock market page. Anything? Nope, nothing is looking good on pricing. Of course, the milk making into butter. That's looking, that's going to look pretty good in September. Right now we got 112,000. Although I need 900,000, so it's quite far off from buying the BGA. I think buying the BGA this year might be a stretch. Although we will start making some more mayonnaise starting today once we get that canola harvest going. Well, we're in the Kubota. Let's grab the Kubota and we'll bring that over. So we got 2 canola fields, a wheat field to harvest, and 3 grass fields are all set for harvesting. We'll park it in this farmer's grass field. I'm sure he'll be fine with it. All right, to the harvester. I'm kind of facing the wrong way with the header. And I don't need the worker behind us because canola does not give us straw. This field here should not take me too long to harvest. So once we get done with all the harvesting, we got to go through the fields and figure out our crop rotation. Because August is the first month for planting canola, and that's very important. I can now add also sunflower to the mix if we want to plant that. We do have a planter on the farm now, but I don't have a header to harvest sunflowers. So if the rotation doesn't look good for canola anywhere, I could see if sunflowers would look good somewhere, and then just have to buy a header for next year. If I bring up the mini map, we can see how the yield is looking. And of course the yield is going off on a few numbers: the soil, the pH value, nitrogen value. And we are getting some nice dark green colors. I mean, you can also keep an eye on your harvest rate on the top left-hand corner. You can see where it says right now it's flashing around the 100%, 120 percentile area. Can't really do a whole lot better than that. And yep, this would be a good spot to unload. While we're unloading that, we're gonna go into our productions and make sure everything's turned on that needs to be. So mayonnaise, we'll turn that on. So yeah, we are looking for canola oil and eggs. So we'll activate that. And it's going to say out of material, which you are, but the oil, oh, mustard, I left that on. We can deactivate that. I don't think I got any mustard this year. And canola oil, we'll activate that, and that's going to say we don't have any because we're completely out. And that's just taking canola and making canola oil. So when I go deliver this canola up to the mill, those productions will get to it right away. I did mention about the ATS video that went out yesterday, and you will have a video out on Wednesday of City Skylines 2 if you're a channel member. You already have access to it. Got that recorded yesterday. If I didn't record it yesterday, you wouldn't have a video this week on City Skylines 2 because I'm out of town tomorrow. And then, of course, Wednesday would be here. After that, and I'm busy on Wednesday. And there won't be no stream tomorrow or Wednesday. But of course, we'll be here at Thursday. I'm going to guess at my usual time, but Thursday we're going to be waiting for Season 18. I'll have to double check to make sure that's the day it comes out. But Season 18 for SnowRunner gets released on Thursday, I believe. And for those wondering, yes, I did complete Season 17. All of my trucks on the Season 17 regional map have been retained, and they're ready to go for Season 18 in Mexico. When you say you don't get notifications, are you talking about on Discord or are you talking about on YouTube? If you're in Discord, you should get notifications if you got it turned on as an option. On Discord, you should get it from the bot letting you know that a video has been posted. If you're talking about YouTube, YouTube is very famously known for if you had notifications turned on or whatever, YouTube for some reason every once in a while will just deactivate things. So if you're talking about YouTube, when you're on my channel, just double check to make sure that you have. Just make sure everything's turned on. I'm not sure what YouTube does, but they turn off notifications and sometimes they'll even unsubscribe you from channels. Can't really get the header on here, so I have to go to this end of the field. Did the other farmer plant canola as well? Because that looks like they may have. It's either canola or mustard that they put in. What did you guys plant? Yeah, they put in canola as well. And if you're asking why not buy the field, that field soil type is not that great. But I mean, looking at it, if I were to buy that field, I could merge it with this one, but I think we got plenty of fields already. You can see this corner of the field, the yield's not that great because of the soil type. And of course that leads into that field. That's why I don't buy that one, because the soil type just gets worse. I think I'm going to be stuck in these trees to unload the canola. But luckily, with no worker behind me, I can back up and give myself enough room to unload. Just don't go into the crop. Where is... There you are. Just gotta tab through. Throw my beacons on because this is a road that AI traffic does travel on. I think there's a car right behind me too. Yep. Let them know we're turning up ahead. But unfortunately, I gotta drive all the way around because we didn't quite make it out. Darn tree, who put that there? I can hear the engine running, so it sounds like, or revving up, so it sounds like we're unloading. I think this is our biggest field that we have. Previously, actually this is the second year I've used this combine, but the year before that, and all the years before that, we had the Claas Dominator harvester, which is a good harvester, but we only had a 6-meter wide header doing all these fields. This header here is a 13.5 meter wide header, so more than double the size. So you can imagine how long it used to take us to harvest all these fields with the Dominator. Basically twice as long, because this header is twice the size. I do want to double check on the grapes, just to make sure I don't need to fertilize them again. When it comes to precision farming and olives and grapes, I never quite fully understood how it works with precision farming. Previous versions, the grapes and olives were affected with precision farming. I think at 25 they are, so I think fertilizing them once is good. Just heard a little bit of thunder outside. I did not know I was supposed to be getting thunder showers again today. So if I suddenly disappear, because last time I had thunder showers roll through, I lost power. But it's like, I'm not seeing much wind outside, so that's, unlike last time there was a bunch of wind. I'm not sure if I can turn this tight radius with a dual wheel Kubota. But we got there in the end. And actually, we need to run this up to the mill because our trailer's going to be full. I got autosave turned on. My game saves every 10 minutes. But thanks for thinking about that. But yeah, that's why I keep autosave on every 10 minutes. Nothing be worse than not have autosave turned on and you're playing for like 2-3 hours or whatever, and then I think only once in FS25 my game has crashed. Or if you were to lose power and lose 2 to 3 hours worth of work. should I say work since we're playing a game? Yeah, you lose 2 to 3 hours of gameplay. See, like right there, you had 2 hours of gameplay lost. Even if you don't like autosave, I would say at least go 15 minutes on autosave. So 31,900 liters. We'll just call it 32,000. That's 16,000 liters of canola oil that we'll get out of this trailer. Again, we're on Pichonniere Valley, made by Black Sheep Modding. And again, the detail on the map and the way they laid it out is just fantastic in my eyes. Let's get in first person here, because driving out of here with all these trees, it's kind of hard to see where you're going. I think I'm so used to autosave that when it says it's auto-saving, to me it's a second nature at this point. I want to say it happened to me. I forgot why I turned off autosave, but it was an FS22 on East Vineland, and I was recording. Well, back then I didn't do live streams because I couldn't, because my internet wasn't fast enough. But I had autosave turned off on East Vineland for some reason, and yeah, I can't remember if I lost power or what happened. But yeah, I was set back by a couple of hours. Been years since you had a power outage, power cut. I'm surprised where I live, I don't get more of them. But when big storms go through and the area gets hit pretty hard with a lot of power outages, where I live, we're not the first ones looked at because I live on a dead-end dirt road. So obviously they're not going to rush to get 5 or 6 houses power. They're going to do areas that's going to, get more power to more people quicker. I think the longest I've been without power was like 6 days. The reason why I was out power for 6 days because a tornado went through. And of course, tornadoes Trees fell everywhere, ripped down power lines up our road, tore telephone poles in half. So they had to come out and put new telephone poles in, rerun some lines. Yeah, I do have a generator. But I'm not one of those, I can live without power. The only thing I did when I lost that power for 6 days, which happened in the middle of summer, was I ran the generator for about a couple times a day for just about 2 hours, so the refrigerator would not thaw out. But I can definitely live without power for quite a while. Doesn't bother me. Being without power is kind of like going glorified camping out in the woods, just that you have a house, not a tent, with no power. Again, with the fridge of perishable foods, eat it. That's that's all. And that's why most of my appliances are gas stove. That way I really don't need power to turn on some burners and cook some stuff. Yeah, when that tornado went through, it's almost been... I know it was on the 4th of July, a couple days before 4th of July when it happened. That was back in 2013? 2013 when that went through. So yeah, it's been almost 13 years, but... Yeah, I thought I was going to have a nice, relaxing, long weekend, because 4th of July here in the States is a holiday. So I had like a 4-day weekend coming up, which was nice. But yeah, I spent the first 2 days with my chainsaw. The first night, it was me and the neighbors clearing out trees in the road. Because like I said, I live on a dead-end road. So we were clearing out trees, and when we got about halfway out, the town highway department was coming up with a dozer clearing out trees. So we got enough so where single cars could get up and down the road. And then the next day, I spent on my own property cutting up trees, getting them off the lawn. And that took me about a couple days to do. So my relaxing weekend turned into full exercise of cutting up trees and moving them around. And the worst part about moving logs around in the middle of summer and they're freshly cut, they're heavy because they're waterlogged. But by the time winter came, I had a lot of firewood to give away. I think after we get this canola harvest done, we'll take a break from the harvester itself and we'll grab the fent and we'll start cutting up the grass. This cut here in all three grass fields, we're just going to put into a swath and we'll just do silage bales, which we will sell in August. Does that for a living? He's a tree. I never heard it called as a tree surgeon. Some people call them lumberjacks, but in our area we call it we actually call them woodchucks. But I never heard them called as tree surgeons. To me, it just sounds like a glorified name for the job, but okay. I was not going to bring up the buoys or buoys. I wasn't going to bring it up. I don't want to cause a whole 20-minute debate again. How much is in this? Yeah, we'll get the rest of the field in this trailer. So one more trip up to the mill. I just hope in Mexico there are no buoys or buoys that we have to go install. But I'm looking forward to Thursday and SnowRunner getting to a new map, new region. Kind of hoping if I get some time on Wednesday, I may try taking the TUS around and looking for some upgrades on maps that I haven't got the upgrades for. Especially Alaska. I think Alaska is a map I'm missing a lot of upgrades on. Alright, there's the rest of the canola. Let me get the header facing this way. Don't need the mini map anymore. All right, let's go deliver the rest of the canola. Well, Bob, in SnowRunner the other day, so depending, I guess, where you're from, the pronunciation of that word, here in the States, for the most part, we say buoys. And now I'm just trying to guess the way John says it from where he's from. But the way he typed it, I would presume you pronounce it boys. So, buoys or boys or whatever. I think we had about a 20-minute conversation about some type of words and how we say them where we're from. But I've never heard buoys pronounced as boys. But then John looked up where the word originated from, and I guess the French came up with it. And the way the French spell it, to me it sounds more like buoys. I'm not close enough to this trigger over here. Still not close up. Oh, there it was. Alright, so canola is in the mill, making canola oil, which then gets distributed to the mayonnaise production, where the oil and eggs makes mayonnaise. And then when October and December come, we make lots of money from mayonnaise. Well, when Thursday comes for the Mexico Season 18 in SnowRunner, we'll see what words we can find. Well, let's head back to the yard and grab the Fent with the mower. Gotta be careful going over this bridge up ahead with this dual-wheeled Kubota. Hello, Louisa. Welcome. Hope you're having a good Monday. Appreciate you stopping on in. So we got ourselves a wheat harvest to do later on, so I'm just going to park this right over here. Turn the beacons off. I'll stake my big butt through here, and there's the fence. Alright, question is, what mode is my mower in? We want it in swathing mode. And it is in swathing mode, so we're good to go. So, yep, we got plenty of silage and hay for now, so this cut here, just make silage bales and sell them next month. And then we'll have to see when October rolls around what our inventory looks like if I make more silage and sell it. Wonder how many times I've actually mowed this grass field. I mean, I can kind of get a good guess. We get about we do get 3 cuts in per year. Now we're in year 12, but obviously I didn't own this field probably for like the first year or two, so we'll just say 10 years. 3 cuts per year, so this will be my 30th time I've cut this grass. So that's a few times. It's getting rather laggy over here. I don't think it's a frame. Oh yeah, I'm down below 40. That okay. Trying to get every little extra blade of grass that I can by getting right up to the telephone poles, but and the reason why I don't have a worker follow me to bale up the grass as I go along is because I do back up quite often here. And that would just cause problems with a follow me worker. I think my 4080 is just fine. It's just farming simulator being farming simulator around the farmyard. I can see now I'm already back up to 60-ish. When I first started playing on this map, we were getting like 80, 85, but the more you play on a map, the frames just keep on dropping. Interesting. If I'm not, you can see I'm at 70 frames per second without moving with the mower. The second I start moving with the mower and the game starts to render, you're cutting grass, putting a swath in behind it, the frame rate drops. Although honestly, I kind of forgotten my graphics settings in game, so I could probably go in there and tweak it a bit. Would you, did you? I've heard of that term before. Probably an American thing. But hello, Branding. Hopefully you've been well and had a nice weekend. I think I replanted the grass where we had a bare spot down here. Yeah, I don't see the bare spot at all, so our Verado seed drill did its job. I was talking about before about starting maybe saving the silage bales. So when we get the BGA, we can toss them all in and make more money that way. But since I need money to buy the BGA, I think I'm going to need to sell the silage bales to help us get us up to the 900 grand that we require. Well, the one thing I got to keep track of, better do that now before I forget, because it's been a while since I sold butter. We're not backlogging on the butter, are we? Yes, we are. All right, so I'll have to go move some butter. All right, so after I cut this grass, we'll jump up to the forklift and get some butter moved around. Finish up this end of the field. Good thing about that dairy production, though, with the amount of milk that we're making, that'll catch back up to not having an overstock of milk. It looks like we've been full on butter for about a month. Few more passes and we'll go move a whole bunch of pallets of butter. I think last time I moved about 35 of them. That was enough to get me to September/October. Okay, we'll bring this back to the yard. And at least get this on the baler, that way it'll remind me I have a memory of a goldfish sometimes. It'll remind me that we got to bale up the grass. Oh, I still got a straw bale in here. Let me go cable this. You know what? I'll leave the straw in there. Because I'll use it because we got a wheat field. So we'll finish up the straw baling before we wrap up the grass. Into the forklift. And it's going to be an awfully quiet forklift because it's an electric forklift. So we're going to do stacks of 3. So we're just waiting for pallets to start spawning. Take a game a second to realize that there's space there, and once it does, it'll go a little bit faster. But now with already moving 2 pallets, the production of butter should be back up and going. Yes, I did play Forklift Simulator. I think I made about 3 episodes or 2 episodes. It was fun for the first 2 episodes, and after that, I pretty much had my fulfill of it. So they've had a few updates. They sent me emails on the updates, but yeah, I just haven't really wanted to get back into it. Same thing with like Lawn Mowing Simulator 2 came out a while ago. Or I either had early access to it, but Lawn Mowing Simulator 2 came out. Had some fun with the first one. But I just couldn't see fitting that into my rotation anywhere. So we just got to move enough out of here so this plant will keep on running until September/October, when we will be selling all this butter. Alright, so that's 18 pallets we have moved. Those pallets that are on over here, those are not ours. Those are just decorative pallets. Alright, so I've moved enough for now, but we are going to come back here in just a little while, but I don't want to be doing this for too long. But this is about half of what I want to move. This would be 24. So we'll come back and move some more in a little bit. But let's get back. We'll go harvest that wheat field. Oh, look at that. Right to the harvester. Forklift is better than the front loader. I prefer a telehandler. Alright, gotta be very careful going over this bridge with this harvester and header. And got through no problem. I think SnowRunner and going over the bridges with those trailers prepped me for getting over that. Must be someone's doing a plowing contract. One of the other farmers. I'm not going to hire a worker to follow behind us for the straw on this one. Oh, I need to reactivate the swath mode, though. And, of course, this grain is going to go into our silo. And when December/January rolls around, I'll decide if I want to sell it or keep it for the chickens. Hopefully I can get around out by the road before I fill up. Yep, should be able to. Although we are filling up fast. Glad there's no AI traffic on this road. But this is the last field I'll be using with this harvester this year, right? I think we got all the other fields done. So if I go to here, so that's been harvested, grass fields, yeah. That's been harvested, this is being harvested, and that's been harvested. So, yep, that just leaves our grapes and our sugar beet, which are done with the handheld stuff. A little of hail damage in this field. I'm thinking, from what I remember when we just sold last winter, I think maybe by the end of the year we might be close to being able to buy the BGA. Just need another 800 grand, that's all. Actually, I should be looking at, to help us out, we really haven't done a whole lot recently, but contracts. I'm just looking at high-paying ones. I mean high-paying ones like at least 10 grand. With harvest season going on, you know, they may want a field to be cultivated or plowed. And I could send the Mercedes off to do that. Keep forgetting my auger is that much longer than my header. I'm so used to always getting the max header that I can for the auger that we have, but on this series here, don't need one that wide. It's nice to have that extra clearance between the header and the trailer. Especially if you're trying to unload while it's harvesting. Originally, I was going to put the farmyard in this field, But then when I started calculating in my head about all the things I wanted to put down on the yard, I figured this field probably not going to be big enough. So that section of the farmyard there, that is actually the first piece of property that we bought. That all there was not one field. That was merged. Well, I shouldn't say merged into a field because it's really just a yard. But that is actually 2 fields where that farmyard is. And I think I've used that space rather well. Kind of what I envisioned when I started putting, thinking about the farmyard, where things are going to be. Again, this is not the starting yard, of course. Starting yard is more over that way. More centralized in the map. Trying to figure out, am I going to get the rest of the yield into the combine or go unload? But I think I can fit another 1,500 liters in here, even though it's filling up rather fast. I think we can get it all in. Right, unfold the header. So don't think the trailer would be able to fit this, so we're just going to take it right on into the yard anyways. Actually, if I go out this way, it'd be better. Kind of. Because you got the Kubota parked there. All right, we'll wiggle our way through the farmyard with this setup. Hopefully you'll see that trigger, and it does. So 2 years of harvesting with this, and I only got 3 hours on it. I think it was taking me 4 or 5 hours with the other harvester and header. I think it was taking me like 4 or 5 hours to harvest per year. So yeah, this machine is helping us out quite a bit. Alright, and this is now the shed for the combine and header. It's almost a perfect setup for it. In it goes, and let's see, got that and that there, so I guess this is going to have to go over by the lime spreader, I think. Okay, let's get this straw baled up. Take us just a minute or so. Well, a couple minutes. So yeah, still no tornadoes at all. When's the, I mean, the last time we've seen a tornado would have been on Kingley. I don't remember getting a tornado on Shamburgo at all. It's almost like they don't exist anymore. These are 20,000 liter bales of straw that we're making. Also with the bigger header, fewer swaths I have to go around and pick up, so it makes this job quicker too. So after we finish up with this straw, we'll go move some more butter. Then we'll come back and continue with the baler and make those silage bales. We got 900 bales? Yep, 901 bales we have made on this map. Be pretty close to 1,000 when we finish up here. On the map itself, not today. That'd be a lot of bales. And yep, we'll empty out this one here. That may have been converted over to grass, which would have benefited me more, but if it didn't convert over, then I'm losing grass into straw. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and get these 2 grass fields done. Then we'll go move the butter. Butter process is back up and running, so it's not like a rush to get up there, but the sooner I get these wrapped, the sooner next month I can sell them. So now we're making 14,000 liter grass bales wrapped, and then, yep, next month they'll be fermented into silage. And when we sell the silage, we should get about $40,000 for these bales. So we're not going to have any more harvesting to do, but in between July and like September/October, when the sugar beet and grapes will be ready, we'll be replanting the 5 fields that we just harvested. It does seem like all of our planting's done in the fall time. We don't really do anything in the spring, other than the sugar beet now. One thing about the round baler and a square baler, unless you got a round baler that has a second capacity area, you gotta stop to unload. thought I would swap out this baler throughout the years here, but it's been working so well for us, and having an all-in-one baler wrapper is nice. Alright, these two fields are done for picking up grass. Got one more field to go, but let's switch back over to our pallet fork. Now, the one thing I don't think I'm going to need, this is an electric forklift, but the battery power, we're not using this that much anyways. I'm just got a half hour on it, and really, the battery power is still reading almost full. If it is not full already, that's the way it looks. I'm kind of curious if I could fit a charging station in here. Not that like I said, I need one, but it would be kind of interesting if I could put one in. Now again, when it comes time to sell the butter, I will be using the autoloader. Because by the time we are ready to sell butter, we're going to have over 100 pallets. Okay, this would be 36 pallets moved, which is half of our inventory that we have, but we're going to move some more. I don't need to get them all moved this month, but we'll do 2 more stacks, I think. Am I doing 3 stacks a piece? Alright, so maybe we'll do 3 stacks in another row. What mod is that unit? If you're talking about the forklift, this is not a mod at all. This is part of the base game. This forklift is definitely part of the base game because it's a modded forklift is something I would not be looking for. All right, last stack, and we'll go get the last grass field baled and wrapped. All right, this should be 48 pallets that we have moved. And again, I'm trying to remember. I think when we get to September, October, last year we had about 100. So definitely going to want to move more out of here. But actually, no, it should all fit because this can hold 70. I think the storage is like 70,000 in here. Yeah, it holds 70,000. We've moved 48. So yeah, that should be more than enough storage in there. So we may not have to move any more. Yeah, back to the fence. And let's go finish wrapping up our grass. I'm kind of curious, does the BGA take straw? I know I can't sell it there, but I wonder if there is a recipe for it. We could actually look because it's on the map. Alfalfa, clover, rye, manure, silage, slurry, sugar beet cut. Forgot about sugar beet cut. Forgot to look at, because I need that for the sugar processing plant. We'll get more sugar out of our sugar beet that way if I do it cut. I'm guessing on Riverbend Springs. I must have made sugar there. Maybe I didn't. But also maybe that mill on Riverbend Springs didn't have sugar beet cut as an option. The mill I put down now has an option for that, right? Sugar beet cut, yes. Yeah, so 60% return on sugar rather than a 50% return. And yeah, we're not doing sugar cane. I don't think France is really known for sugar cane. So somewhere, we'll just say 2 o'clock in the afternoon in August, these bales will have been fermented. As we say here, making these beautiful marshmallows. Like always, let's finish up this side of the field. Should get about 2 more bales, I would think. Maybe even 3. And after we bring this back to the yard, just want to run over and take a quick look at the grapes. And just to see what the status is. I said about 3 more bales. We already got our 2, and I think like always going to be just shy on the 3rd one. Well, on this one here, but yeah, we usually almost end up with a full bale at the end. Not quite, but almost there. Drop that in there. Let's go get this on the bale trailer. Let me just run over here. Let's have a quick look. Everything's reading perfect. pH, nitrogen, expected yield 99 out of 100%. Crop rotation yield 100%. I thought it was better than that. Might be thinking of the sugar beet. Maybe the sugar beet was a good crop rotation. Yeah, our sugar beet was 120%. We'll get these bales on the trailer. Got to get them out the field because the grass fields need to be fertilized. And it's kind of hard to do that with the bales in the field. Alright, large grass field next. would like to get the straw bales off the field also, because I'm pretty sure 2 of the fields I'll be planting in next month. And there we go. Silage bales, well, not quite silage bales yet, but they will be, are picked up. Mod called pallet fork with tension belts. Yeah, I've never been keen on that one. Just something I know about it. Just doesn't really interest me that much. Seen it in use a couple times if it's the one I'm thinking of. Alright, let's just run over here and we'll start doing, we got 5 fields to figure out. So this is field 36 where we just did winter wheat. So field 36, winter wheat. So yeah, that's going to be canola. So this field will be planted next month. So this crop rotation is still on pack for what it needs to be. Let's come over to this field. It's when I throw mustard into the mix is when my rotation gets kind of out of whack a little bit. Field 24 was winter barley. And here we are. That one will be canola. So yeah, that's looking good with a crop rotation. You know what? Let's go ahead and I'm not going to run to all the fields. Let's go to here. So this is field 16, and it was canola. 16 canola. Rye at 120%. All right, that will stay as is. Field 94 was canola. 94 canola. That should be rye. Whoops, and then that leaves, so I'm not really changing anything as of right now. Field 65 was barley. And it was mustard, so we're going to get rid of mustard. I don't want spring. Canola, 85. Sunflowers at 95. All right. So it might be probably winter wheat, I'm guessing. Or I could do triticale. Yeah, winter wheat is 120. But I think to mix it up, we'll probably go with triticale. So rye and triticale. Triticale would be in September. And rye is also September. So that gives me a little time to get those fields done. But I do got 2 fields of canola that we'll have to plant. So we'll have to move some bales around and get some fields done. Do any of my fields need soil sampling? Yes, field number 94 needs to be sampled. That is out of date. So I'm going to go do that now while it's fresh on my mind. Get this 710. Soul sampler looks huge on the back of the 710. And again, because people do ask about this bridge. This is a bridge I put in. Now, when you look at it before I go over, you can see the bridge is not in the water. I mean, the water level is actually, considering where the surface of the bridge is rather low. But when I drive over the bridge, you can see the water getting splashed. Alright, so we need the mini-map. Yes, this is a modded soil sampler. But I'm not going to get that corner, so I'll have to do it like, well, we'll do it like this. And then like so. So yeah, this modded soil sampler allows me to cover a huge part of the field compared to the standard one. Realize I'm overlapping a little bit, but I'm trying to get it in one width, but I think it's going to be kind of difficult to do that all the way through. But it might, kind of. Yeah, I got a little section right here we got to get. So we'll get it. Send the samples off. $750 for the samples, and now if we come back into here, yep, now you can see the fresh data. Everything's looking good. Does this need lime? I think I did lime last year in basically all the fields. Yeah, I think that's where we are probably going to wrap it up for today. Again, just a reminder, I did release an episode of American Truck Simulator yesterday. If you're a channel member, you have access to the City Skylines episode that's going out on Wednesday. There is no stream tomorrow or Wednesday, but I'll be back on Thursday. And hopefully at the usual time, because they're going to be waiting. Thursday is supposed to be the day SnowRunner Season 18 gets released for Mexico. And I'm pretty sure I'll be going kind of hard on that on the first couple of days. So yeah, next live stream will be on Thursday. SnowRunner Season 18, fingers crossed if everything goes well. And like I said, next recorded episode goes out on Wednesday, unless you're a channel member, you have already access to it. City Skylines 2. And hopefully by Wednesday I'll have enough chance to record Transport Fever 2 for Friday. But that is my current schedule for the week. I'm out of town tomorrow, and Wednesday is my day. I try to get caught up on recordings and emails and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, you can see the grapes growing on the vines. Those are looking good. So yeah, good amount of work done here on Pichonniere Valley today. We got all of the grain harvesting done. Now we're just waiting for the sugar beet, which is like October, and the grapes I think might even be October as well. And then we'll start making some wine somehow, and hopefully we make a decent profit off of it. Like I said, if I make 2 pallets of wine, I think I might be happy with it. But we'll see over due time. But appreciate everyone being here on a Monday for some Farming Simulator. Yeah, I kind of went over my schedule for the rest of the week. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Have a good Tuesday and Wednesday. And hopefully I'll see you all on Thursday. But until then, have a good one.